Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit the like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. So, did y'all see the show from today?
Yeah.
So, essentially, the premise was, why tell the truth when the lie is more, what did I say? What did I say, bro?
Lucrative.
Entertaining. It's more entertaining.
Entertaining, right?
And lucrative.
And lucrative, right? And destructive and distracting, you know? And so people often lean into whatever's going to get them the most clicks, likes, views, right? Because famous and infamous, there's not that much of a gap. Hold on, yo. Okay, daddy coming. She poke you in the eye? Huh? Why did you sleep? Okay, daddy coming. Hold the door, Bubba. And tell her don't poke you in the eye. So,
Yeah,
we was talking. She'll tell her though, for sure. So,
we got kids.
So I'm about to get them together once I lay this down, right? Because I let Rock lay in their room so she can watch TV, but Rock be up, she be standing up, dancing to the music when she should be laying down. So now she got to go in her crib, so she messed it up for herself, and she poking niggas in the eye, so she really in trouble now. So, but and so you hear they sent me this debate, and they're like, Hamp, you got to review this. I said, for what? It's a bunch of people saying shit that's inflammatory so they can go viral. That's what it's about. That don't do much for me. That doesn't do a lot for me, and we feed it all the time. So that was the one premise. I showed a couple clips. There was 2 players from Ohio State. They went to school in 2016, 2017. They got discharged. They got charged with rape in the first degree and kidnapping as well in the first degree. Both of them were seniors, good football players. They played a position at Ohio State that NFL players typically go there so they can get seen to play that position, right? There's like schools like Penn State is called Linebacker University. Like all the best linebackers in the last 30 years went to Penn State. You see what I'm saying? So to go play a linebacker at Penn State is a big deal. Go play DB at Ohio State's a big deal, right? Both of these kids got kicked off the team they junior, senior years, and they had to fight these charges. They were later found not guilty, but neither one of them ever played football again, from what I can see. And there's so many stories like that, right? What jogged this in my head was the Jay-Z thing. Are you guys familiar with Jay-Z is going through currently?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw a post about it, but I didn't read it.
Mm-hmm. So the lady is 37 now. When the allegation came when she was allegedly 13, went to a Diddy party, and she said that she was raped by Jay-Z and Puffy, and there was a third person there, a woman who they didn't mention participated in the allegation. Obviously, Jay-Z saying that it didn't happen, et cetera, et cetera. But what if it's somebody not like Jay-Z, like the boys that I'm mentioning? I mentioned Travis Rudolph. Do you guys know that case? Where in Florida, he played at Florida State, and then he later played for the Giants for a little bit of time, and then in the CFL. She lied to her brothers and her friend to say that he threw her on the ground, slammed her, and all this stuff. When in actuality, she admitted in court he never hit her. He never hit her. She was hitting him, and she bust his window out. Then called her brother to say, go shoot his shit up. Meaning shoot up his house where he lived at with his brother and his mom. They went over there 3 deep. One of them got killed in the process. She was on the stand acting like her shit didn't stink. She didn't mean for anybody to die, but she verbatim said, shoot his shit up. She's like everything except people. One thing that you guys may not know is bullets, you can't tell them what to do. Bullets don't have no name, no face, or no destination. I said this earlier. You'll be holding the burner like this, right? Hand don't never move, but for some reason you hitting all parts of the target except the one part you want. And so Travis let off, I think it was 30 or 40 shots. Killed the friend, the 2 brothers survived. Guess what she got charged with? Not a goddamn thing. And so now it brings us here to this question. Believe all women. My main concern is what happens to the women that you should actually believe. Sherelle brought this up earlier. Boy who cried wolf, remember him? And when he actually needed help, nobody came, and the wolves ate up all them sheep. So what happens to the women and people, right, that generally have a good message, that's not rooted in bullshit, that have been raped or molested, that's not rooted in bullshit and lies? But when everybody's a victim, nobody's a victim. There's a thing we say in football. When you got two quarterbacks, you don't got a quarterback. That's the one position you don't rotate. So when I hear to believe all women, I'm almost like, damn. What do y'all really think about that? And then I got another question while y'all think through that one. Do you guys agree that women get prosecuted to a lesser extent? Like, do you think women get prosecuted as harshly as men do?
No, I think the society, everybody just takes it easier on women.
What you guys think?
I don't think back in maybe about 10 years ago, but I think the tide has changed with that whole narrative of just believe it. And also we have to give credence to the fact of why we got there, because at one point nobody was listening. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't an option. So now it's kind of trying to give some balance.
Wasn't an option for who?
Because back in the day, like
What
women
day?
were, I say probably about 30 years ago.
Like Mike Tyson?
No, 40 years ago. But
Like Mike Tyson?
Nah, no, women, let me go back further than that. I say probably like 50s, 60s era.
No, Mike Tyson is a good example from Robin Givens.
He went to prison.
Yeah, so I say 50s, 60s era, when almost in the transitioning of women really having their own rights and say so and all things like that.
David Ruffin.
What did Dave do?
He beat, y'all know the lady Tammy Terrell. She sang that "You're All I Need." Yeah, he beat her in the head with a hammer. That was his girlfriend.
He used to beat prosecuted. Okay, and then then Al Green, I guess you just cancel him out. I guess
I don't even know if he got canceled.
No, cancel them out.
You're talking about when the wife threw the grits on him.
Oh yeah.
We're not. We're using those. What point are we trying to illustrate? What are you saying, Alexis? Overall. Okay, so what are we trying to illustrate? Just so I understand.
That there was a time where it wasn't not that it wasn't not to believe the women, but nobody was listening. So now to balance it out, almost like now people are coming back around to where it's not just, oh, we just believe them. Now it's like, okay, let's get the facts first. Let's get the facts first. We can get the facts without victim shaming. And so now that's where the tide has got to, where even what you just mentioned as far as the players, like, I mean, you got to have some money a lot of times to really fight it. But, and even that part, I don't like that they get to, that the woman gets to just move around. Like, whatever that they had to go through, I think that woman should pay the same. They had to go to jail, you need to go to jail. If they had to pay out all that money, you need to pay the money back or something. Like, I don't think it should be just, oh, well, we found out you lied and now we're moving on with life. And so that's my point. I think they're trying to balance it out now.
Okay. So you're saying the overcompensation was necessary?
Yeah. Yep. Thank you.
Because you're saying the majority of the time the women weren't heard.
Correct.
Yeah, didn't they have to make it a law for you not to beat your wife or grape your wife? They had to make it illegal.
Well, you can't rape each other.
What?
Or you can, sorry. You can be prosecuted for raping your spouse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What? Men can't get raped? Is that the assumption?
No, it's just the way you said it. Like you can't rape each other. I was just like,
yeah. Okay. What do you guys think about the believe all women? Well, I was really kind of leaning on the prosecution, but I think Lex was answering my first question, which is fine. What do you guys think about that mantra? Do you think that it was necessary, like it was an overcorrection that was necessary so that women can be heard? Because when I'm looking at it, I could see Kobe in my head. I don't know. Did Chris Brown get off?
No,
He's
he
not
got
a good
convicted.
person because he's had multiple cases of
I'm
assaulting.
just
So
talking about
sometimes I think
No, he didn't
what I
get
Did he
think
get
when
off.
we're
off?
He
talking
got
about believe all
convicted.
women, there's a
Yeah.
difference
Did
between.
he get off? So hold on. Did he get off? I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I didn't look.
He did probation.
Okay.
So no.
He didn't get off. He did probation,
He
and
got probation. He got
essentially
convicted
for
and then he got-
years he wasn't able to have a really good career. I think in the past 2 to 3 years, people have allowed him to kind of come back into it. And this was post Rihanna saying like, "We're cool now. We were kids."
Hold on. I was going down a list. So
Okay.
I'm just looking at Pac. I'm looking at Mike Tyson. And generally when you look at it, it's like kind of not spread, but it's usually a couple per year. Are you saying that the spike of all those men that essentially got accused and lost their careers and things of that nature was necessary in that time? Like are we thinking that it was that drastic for women? I know I watched this show called and it's a show, but it's called The Morning Show on Apple. I don't know if you guys ever
Well, it's
watched it.
supposed to be the like Fox News spoof.
Yeah, something like that.
Honestly, I could say I think that no matter what time we was in, if these people would have went to the police and went to the press, it could have ruined them at any point in time. I do feel like from then and now, people be more about the money, and that a lot of those things were getting pushed away with money. And some of the women who are more vocal are typically the ones that aren't actually telling the truth. Because if people actually know people that are victims of sexual assault, those people try to shame them like, oh, people could be making other victims and all this, but actually it really like fucks your mind up. So they're actually more timid to face the person that did them something. Typically the ones that's coming out and they're so open and out, they typically, their character and their stories don't even be adding up. Like the lady with Tupac or all these different situations.
Sherelle, that's an interesting point. The people that are hurt are generally recluse, huh? The people that really been through the trauma to just come out the woodwork like that would be much more difficult.
Because you have to face that pretty much relive the stuff that happened to you and then be shunned by the whole world. And then it's this person that's so famous, they have the chance to get over it. You know what I'm saying? To and then now this thing happened to you. So
So
what do you think about that? What do you guys think? Well, so here's about what Sherelle just said. I know that we're deliberating it over it, right? And this is a sensitive subject, right? So here's what I need for everybody to listen well, right? Nobody's being accusatory, right? We're trying to understand what's being talked about and happening, right? I would ask the chat that you listen well. Don't say, oh, so you saying XYZ? Listen to what they're saying. Don't interpret it, right? Because this is one of those conversations where you have to talk about something sensitive. And if everybody's not listening well, right, because they have an agenda in their head, they'll misconstrue on purpose or subconsciously, right? We don't need that. So what do you guys think about that? If somebody really went through some trauma, how likely are they to just come out and be all in front of the news and reliving it? That's an interesting thought pattern. It makes sense to me. Joel, what do you think?
I think that, like Sherelle said, they're not likely to just be out in the open if they've experienced such a traumatic event, because you're reliving it. You're telling your story. You're being judged by others. That takes a toll on somebody's mental health.
Yeah. You know what?
Nowadays, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, just think about it. Like if you put men in this situation, right, Joel? Let's say a man got it taken advantage of. I can almost guarantee he gonna die with that. But go ahead, my bad.
Agree.
Just because when you was talking,
I agree.
Anybody else just on that premise? If you disagree, it's fine. But I'm just thinking through it.
That seems to be the
Most
case
women
more
don't
often than
report.
not.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Calvin.
No, I was saying that seems to be the case more often than not, because you'd have to face your accuser in court. You'd have to be up on the stand, getting cross-examined and all that kind of stuff like that. And a lot of the times they don't want to even go through all of that. They just want it to go away as best as they can.
Damn. Go ahead, Tiff.
No, I watched the show earlier, and yeah.
What?
When it comes to SA,
Well, what was the negative reaction regarding the show earlier?
I want to be mindful. I think when we talk about SA and really just looking at how and who is affected, who really talks and who comes out, it can be precarious. I can acknowledge that there are times that women may be less than honest, but I won't even say 9 times out of 10. It is very rare for most people to report. And as a SA survivor, I did not report because I think a lot of people, what do you say when it's an intimate partner? What do you say? You knew this person. You had a relationship with this person. Nobody's going to believe what you're saying. And if so, the blame game. Well, what did you do? Well, what'd she have on? Well, what was she wearing? Well, where were you at? Well, why were you there? That kind of questioning on top of just trying to understand what just happened to you from somebody that you love is just, nah. So to hear people, and I'm not a man, and I'm not, if you're lying about that, go to hell with gasoline draws on, because it is too traumatic for false allegations. It's too important for young women, older women, young men, older men to be safe. I lean very heavy into what Cat Williams, when he said, SA is never funny, it's never a joke, and it's not anything that we should be talking about lightly. I think based on what we heard earlier today, there has to be a different approach of how we're handling certain things, because I don't think it's right that a person makes an accusation and you lose your career. But also I'm going to look and see if you have a pattern, then that's when there's some things going on. And I think even you brought up and saying, like, do you think your past behavior is why this may have not, you might not have gotten leniency, because it's a character thing.
So in the with the lack of a past, you see people still getting their heads chopped off.
And I don't think that's right. I don't think it's a self-correction. I think, again, because things weren't prosecuted, that now it's one of these things where you don't want to come back and be wrong. But if we're going to say we have to be honest and kind of like let the process work, I think because the criminal justice system has so many issues that this kind of gets mucked up. Does that make sense?
I think so. I just wonder, will the court of public opinion allow things to play out?
And then I also
What a public.
I also think that sometimes when you have certain behavior, you can make yourself a target, right? So there's rumors around Diddy, right? So if you're a girl that's looking for a bag, you can go see what that's about. And because he has these rumors about him, they start a hotline. Everybody that ever went to a Diddy party, now they saying they getting assaulted. Whether it's true or not, because they feel like I could just get it. You see, a man, he has certain things against him, it's easier to blame him. It's easier to put it on him. Because
So
the
what do
behavior
you?
that he already showed.
Damn. So it's his fault.
In a way, his original behavior, just like R. Kelly had the rumors with the kids, then parents started showing up with their children. He set that up, but now parents are bringing their kids around to put their children, like basically offer their children up. So yeah, of course, he's playing a major role in it, but it's like if the plan is I'm gonna give them my kid and we're gonna take them down, you're an easy target.
But isn't that twofold though? Like the parents are wrong, absolutely wrong. But you're a grown man. You know that this is a child. Like at some point, call them people on the parents. Don't participate with children.
Yeah, it's like a setup. It's not like it's not a problem. It's a damn problem because it's a damn problem. But when their behavior is public, what I'm saying is it's easy to entrap them now. Now we know how to get you. So
I use this guy, Deshaun Watson. I don't know if you guys know Deshaun Watson. He played for the Texans. He didn't play for a year, and then he now plays for the Browns. But he stinks now. He played at Clemson. They paid him, I think, $275 million guaranteed for the Browns because he was top-rated quarterback. But he had these allegations of sexual assault or misconduct from massage ladies, right? So I live in Texas. When I hurt my shoulder, I went to get a massage, right? And the lady assumed that you there like to after they massage you to like get a happy ending. So I'm like, nah, my fucking shoulder hurts. Fucking right. Well,
you know they shut down a few.
Let me finish this. God damn it.
You stop
So
bringing
now when you go, don't take your drawers off, bro. Cause they assume you on some other shit. So I was thinking back to his situation, right? And he in Houston. And they was talking about how he had sexual misconduct with like 30 massage girls. But
That's
there's like
That's a pattern.
No, but I'm more so thinking about what Sherelle's saying, right? So the lady, when I went, assumed that this was the next step in the massage. You see what I'm saying? When I'm there at this Thai place to get my shoulder worked on, right? So I'm thinking I didn't know it was torn at the time. She assumed that was the next step. And I live in Houston. So now I'm thinking, okay, Deshaun probably going to you got a liquor store, massage parlor, Kroger, liquor store, massage parlor. It's 1,000 of them out here. So now I'm just thinking he probably going from massage spot to massage spot. They assumed that's what's gonna happen. Was it one? Oh, that's Deshaun Watson. Now they all know it's Deshaun Watson. And then does it become what's that thing? Class action almost. And there were no criminal allegations. Tiff, now here's the thing. If you're done listening, this is not the conversation. So we don't want to make sure everybody stays in tune. If people can't stay with us, then it may not be the conversation for them. Because I'm trying to understand what Sherelle was making. That's the reason why I'm bringing this part up. Because a bunch of them came out of the woodwork saying he did this to me and me and me. But he never got charged with a criminal offense. But every single one of them got paid. Would you want somebody to pay criminally or the money enough? And if so, what's the actual agenda?
That's what Jay did.
Now let's talk through it now that we have the context.
First of all, there's so many parlors in Houston that got shut down because they've been running like sex trafficking through them. And they had to shut down massage parlors in Houston. It's more of a Houston massage parlor thing than it is a him thing. But that's exactly what I'm saying. The same thing happened to Bill Cosby.
Well, hold on, Rel. Let's because Bill, yeah, no, 100%, right? But this is actually tangible. Bill, them lady was at 50 years, 40 years, 30 years. Deshaun just lost his career 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? It's tangible. And, you know, a lot of Bill, remember the statute of limitations was up for a lot of those women?
Mm-hmm.
Not these women. Not them 30 allegations where he paid all of them out.
They want the money, though.
But it was all civil.
But if you're a real victim, wouldn't you want this criminal off the streets so he wouldn't victimize other women and make other women feel how you felt?
Yeah, I would
Do
say
you
that
understand civil suits are typically
let
filed?
Let Callie go and then Tiff, because Callie tried to get in a couple times. Go ahead, Callie.
I wouldn't just base it solely off of just the civil suit, but what I would look at to try and discern it is if they sought the criminal charges first. And then if they couldn't, they just want to get something on the record, they would go for the civil suit. But I tend to be skeptical if they're going for the civil suit first.
Okay. That's how it sounds, right? It seems like a little bit like blackmail, extortion. Go ahead, Tiff. What's your thought?
Typically, when people file a civil suit, is because a criminal defense is really hard to prove. If we take Cassie, which is a really good example, she went through a civil suit because she did not have the evidence to go through a criminal case. When the tape popped up and the state saw it, then they picked up the case. So there are times when you may have a crime that you've done that the woman doesn't press charges, the state does. And even with Tory Lanez, that Megan did not sue him. The state of California sued him. So when you have civil cases, many times it's to right a wrong that you cannot prosecute in a criminal case. There may be opportunities, or what tends to happen is one person comes out, then another person comes out, and this drip, 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 drip of victims begin to come out, and then the pattern is revealed because, again, most women don't report because they do not believe they're going to be believed. Sexual assault is something that is very difficult to prosecute. If you don't go immediately and go to the hospital and get a rape kit and call the cops, there are so many different things that can happen that the way that some people find resolve is criminally you're wrong, but I can't prosecute you that way. So civilly, I'm going to sue you because you've caused damage to my person and who I am. I think we have to be extremely mindful when we're talking about sexual assault, and you should not victim blame, nor should you automatically assume that a person has done a crime. But I wonder, to me, it's a disservice to say, oh, well, if she wanted him to get off of the street, well, if it's been passed or there's no evidence, her next process in our legal system is to file a civil case and be heard either by a judge or jury. And if a judge or jury find that this person is guilty, that's what it is. But
All right. So essentially you're saying the burden of proof is less, right? You can do a lot more speculating, right? You can have a lot more circumstantial, right? Because in a civil suit, I think the correct terminology is like preponderance of evidence, right? And so what it actually says is you don't have enough to charge them with a real crime. So now we justify it by going to the civil courts. So we can't meet the burden of proof for a criminal offense but for a civil offense, you can't. Is that the take? And are we saying that they tried to press charges but didn't have enough evidence criminally? Also, the state always takes over. So when you have crimes of this magnitude, every single time, even when I went to court, it say the state of whatever state versus me. So what is your overarching? You're saying they couldn't find him guilty criminally, so they just went after his money. Is that the long and short of it?
Is it money, or is she going over after damages? Like, do you know a person that's had an SA? Do you realize that you don't heal from that ever?
Nobody, but see that doesn't fit in my question I'm asking at all, right? So
but you're saying
the damage. Let me ask you a question: do they pay the damages in push-ups, or do they pay the damages in money?
I explain what you're trying to say.
Well, you said they're going after damages. Are the damages in the form of money?
If they can't get a criminal prosecution, yes.
And you go after the money?
I think you go after. I'm not necessarily saying the money. It's a punishment. I can't get you civilly, so I'm going to punish you. It's a punishment.
Is it money?
I think it would be far more reasonable to file civil suit or whatever to pay for someone's therapy, medical bills and such like that. But if you're going in there trying to get a settlement for millions of dollars to ruin somebody's career, I think that's where people start raising eyebrows.
Damages. Basically, that's the damages.
Those are the damages.